What's good, YouTube? It is your boy, Big Cool, coming to you from Colossal Sports TV, and I am back with another video. Shawn Porter says Danny Garcia is the biggest fight of his life. That is a bold statement from Shawn Showtime Porter, who has shared the ring with Paulie Malignaggi, Devin Alexander, Adrian Broner, Keith Thurman, and Kell Brook. He's 3-2 in those fights. He brutally stopped Malignaggi. He outworked and out-hustled Adrian Broner. He dominated Devin Alexander. Came up really close to beating Kell Brook, where he lost by a majority decision. And I felt that he beat Keith Thurman, but that was a great fight that could have went either way, and he lost a close split decision. But, I'll post the link in the description below. But he says that this is the big fight. This is the biggest fight of his career. I disagree for one reason. When he fought Keith Thurman 2 years ago, that was really for the status of the top dog. It doesn't matter what you think of Shawn Porter from a skill standpoint, from a fundamental standpoint. His resume is very good, and if he would have had Keith Thurman on his resume as a victory instead of a loss, he would be today considered the #1 guy based off beating what many people feel then and some now, the best guy at 147, which is Keith Thurman. Instead, he didn't get that victory, but that was the biggest fight of his career, in my opinion. But that's just me. I'm looking from the outside in. I can't tell Shawn Porter what to feel as his biggest fight of his career. Now, if he asks me, I can give him my opinion, and that's about it. But when you look at that Keith Thurman fight, that fight was for welterweight supremacy. Really, you had Danny out there as the WBC, welterweight champion, but, nobody looked at him as #1. At that point, it was really Porter, Thurman as 1 and 1A, 1B. Yeah, you had Garcia. Yeah, you had Broner really at that time, even though he had took an L to Porter. You had Amir Khan. Errol Spence was still coming up as a prospect. Danny Garcia was like number 2 or 3. A lot of people felt that those guys would be, the best. Not saying it would be a long reign for Shawn Porter if he had defeated Keith Thurman. And maybe some people disagree with me, about feeling that Shawn Porter was number 2 or 1 in that division back in 2016. That's just my opinion. Well, you got Kell Brook out there, so you really can't say that. But that really was one of the upper echelon fights at the time. So, yeah, while you got Kell Brook out there, who was the IBF title champion, everybody was looking at that fight between Keith Thurman and Shawn Porter as the fight that was going to really set apart the weak from the strong. Of course, you throw in Kell Brook and Danny Garcia also to match up with those guys to really establish a clear-cut #1. That would have been an ideal situation. But, we know everything isn't ideally. It doesn't happen the way we always envision it happens. It may take longer or it may not happen at all. But I think that, that fight with Keith Thurman was bigger than this one. But at this point in his career, this is the biggest fight of his life. Because if he lose, it'll have been his 3rd loss. This is going to be a major setback for him because he'll have to climb his way back. Or he's going to have to get in the ring with somebody he doesn't want to get in the ring with to get a title shot. Whether he fights Errol Spence in a unification bout, or if Keith Thurman never comes around and Danny Garcia elects to fight somebody else, he takes Errol Spence on for that IBF title. So at the end of the day, he has to win this fight more so than Danny, because Danny, while he has 1 loss, I think that he can afford another loss and still be in good position. Shawn Porter, on the other hand, cannot lose to Danny Garcia. That means he will be 3-3 in big fights, especially against guys that they think better than him. Keith Thurman, Kell Brook, and Danny Garcia. He has to get a marquee name on his resume from a point of a fighter that's actually accomplished some shit against some legitimate ass fighters and not none of that fluky ass shit that Adrian Broner did. I'm not discrediting Broner. He's a very good fighter, good name to get on your resume, as well as Devin Alexander and Paulie Malignaggi. But y'all know where I'm getting at, man. But yeah, leave your comments in the comment section down below, giving me your thoughts on this. Do you feel this is Shawn Porter's biggest fight of his career? If not, what fight do you feel is the biggest? If you like this video, hit that like button. If you enjoy the content throughout the channel, hit that subscribe button and that post notification bell button to be notified every time I upload content so you won't miss a damn thing. Share these videos all over social media. My social media links will be down in the description below, so you can follow me on all those platforms. Shout out to everybody in the movement that is moving with us. Be sure to check out 3kingsboxing.com for your latest and greatest updated, unfiltered, and unbiased boxing news and information reported the way it should be. Shout out to the LDBC and everybody in between that is doing their thug thizzle. Until next time, I am out. Peace.